Hi everybody, my name is Dominic Dinardo. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Aforza. Thanks for playing this quick message. Today I was asked to talk about the topic of omni-channel engines. Why do they matter? Like it seems like a very technical thing, very clever software concept, but what's the real business impact to a consumer products company if you're in food, beverage, consumer healthcare? Why should you care about omni-channel engines? Well, this first slide we're looking at here is a representation of your route to market for a consumer products manufacturer. This is actually it's actually a McKinsey chart, right? And even today, it's there's always something like 20% of your universe where you don't get to for all the different channels. It's kind of amazing statistics, right? 20% still not reaching. And fragmented marketplaces is actually even tougher than perhaps a modern market. But however you're trying to get to it, there's always that gap you've got to try and close to try and reach out across that fragmented market. Now, when we consider why that is, there's kind of like over successive decades, we've got more and more channels. So in some ways, it would feel that the channels are helping us to close the gap. Somehow we're reaching further and further with more and more channels. And of course, if we go back into my childhood, to teenage years in the 80s, there was no internet. You had salespeople out feet in the street. You had distributors and wholesalers. You had a certain architecture in place, and that was it. But at the turn of the millennium, so many more options. EDI was prevalent. You've still got your feet in the street. You've got your distributors, wholesalers. Telesales is now a normal thing. You have more channels. And then if we look to 2020s, like now, it's just like an explosion, a plethora of different ways you can do it from, not just even beyond B2B, business commerce solutions, just things like messaging to small businesses with WhatsApp and other messaging formats, right? So many different channels to contend with. Yet that gap still exists. The business problem's still there. We're just constantly searching now for ways to both close the gap but manage that cost to serve. That's the business challenge that we're facing. So why is it hard? Well, it's not surprising really, and we've got to perhaps all cut ourselves a break here. If you've got a business, you've evolved over time to try and serve these channels, whether it be field sales all the way through to EDI. You probably have stacks of solutions, technology solutions that for each of these different channels. You end up with this kind of like strange stovepipe effect. Like you have the software for the field sales team, you have the software for the telesales organization. Maybe the field sales team is using mobile technology, maybe the telesales team is using some old Siebel or SAP stuff. You get B2B solutions, maybe you're using Shopify or um, I don't know, an e-commerce platform from Adobe or something. So, excuse me, lots of different ways to do it, and they all kind of come with their own little stacks of architecture. And so supporting a channel is kind of stovepiped, which means there's a kind of a cost to serve element. There's like a business logic element across all of this because these stovepipes are not really linked. Usually the linkage happens between the ERP system and stovepipe. So what? Well, the cost to serve is kind of like it's expensive because you're trying usually duplicating or trying to make business logic work in all these different places. You have an issue where there's a real lack of commercial consistency for your customer. You know, very often we talk about single view of the customer, but does the customer have a single view of you? Right? If you've got like different pricing coming out on your e-commerce solution from what they get on telesales, and it's different again if a field sales rep turns up, that's kind of an issue. It kind of means that there's going to be problems, there's going to be errors, there's going to be admin. It just adds to the cost. It's slow, it's manual, and it's challenging. Right, so let's go full circle. That's kind of the context. That kind of sets up why am I being asked to speak about omnichannel engines. Well, let's start with this build slide here where we talk about, let's go back again. We have all these different channels here across the top, field sales through to EDI. And let's think about this. So all of these channels for our order flow all do some similar things, right? They all have to they start an order and start trying to price it. Well, let's talk it through. First of all, which customer is it? How's it segmented? Are they a VIP customer? Are they like, a customer that's got less than 10,000 square feet of space? Is there a competitive presence? There's lots of segmentation you want to apply to try and figure out what pricing applies. And there's things like commercial policies to consider. Do they, have a special discount in place? What are the discount rules for this customer? And then there's promotion logic. Buy one, get one free, spend more than $1,000, get 10% back, all sorts of different logic. And all these business process logic, you want to operate, whether it be the field sales rep working offline on a device, standing in front of the customer, maybe they're picking up an order in a basement bar where there's no internet, or whether the customer's called in for some support to your telesales team or your service team, and perhaps it's late at night, it's 1 a.m, I've just closed my bar and I just realized I need to place an order, I want to use B2B. Whatever channel the customer wants to meet you on, you want to meet them with the right commercial solution, a commercial solution that you've decided, not by accident, but with purpose and intent to provide them with. It's really, really important. So if we're able to put this architecture in place for omnichannel engines, whether connected to the internet or even disconnected from the internet, mobile offline, then you can really control and drive the balance of your business across these channels, and this is the important bit, even incorporate new ones as time goes on. So omnichannel engines can give you a lot of benefits. Single view of the customer has a single view of you. Penny perfect pricing, because it now genuinely is the correct order value on whatever channel. You now have a way to rapidly iterate on new channels to get to that 20% of the unserved market that we know about, reduce errors and mistakes. Now, of course, because of all this stuff is in our case in Aforza here, then of course you get the insights and reporting and better decision making you can do to improve your business. And we didn't talk about it too much, but guess what? There's a big significant AI advantage that you can place into this architecture to support your planners, your salespeople at every stage of the process. Omnichannel engines sounds a bit geeky and a bit techy, kind of important. As always, we're here to answer any questions, and thanks for watching the video. Take care. Bye-bye.